joy in Ralph Ellis Stadium. It's the ICTN Game of the Week as you take a look at the Nimitz Vikings hitting the field as the visitors taking on the MacArthur Cardinals in their red, white pants, white helmet with the big old red bird on the side of the headgear. Hey everybody, Rob Willman with you, along with former head coach David Vizentine, who used to be a head coach for the MacArthur Cardinals, but he will play it right down the middle.
Right down the middle. Good to be here tonight, Rob.
Glad to have you, Coach. And, you know, these games are always fun. You coached in a few of them. Did you have to have a special speech about, hey, guys, don't lose your cool because I know it's going to be intense, or how did that work?
Well, you know, probably you had to emphasize that a little bit more than, you know, getting fired up, so to speak, because they all know when on the schedule when this game comes around, and they're always ready, and there'll be a lot of excitement in this ball game tonight, both sides.
Take a look at the game time temperature, 58 degrees, 100% humidity, not much wind in this one, so you don't have to worry about that at all. Here's the opening kickoff, and Kari takes it here to the near sideline, and he's drugged down at the 45-yard line. On the tackle is Don Evans, one of the defensive backs for these Nimitz Vikings. And tonight, starting at quarterback, just like last week against Irving, is Trenton Harden, a sophomore, 5'10", 160 pounds. And he's going to try to lead this MacArthur offense. And now all of a sudden we have a change. It's going to be Dylan Frutiloso. So Frutiloso, who came in relief last week in that win against Irving, did an outstanding job. And so the coach said, hey, I might have a twist for you to start the game. Well, there's my twist, and here's a twist right here as they run a double reverse. And Jalen Oliver, third on the team in tackles, grabs him around the shoulder pads, and Demetrius Chairs goes down after a gain of 7 or 8. The starting lineups for MacArthur: Bardalis, Efon, Lopez, Berra, and Tate are your starting 5. The big ones up front. And then you got Sanders as a running back, Reyes, Akari, Chairs, and Feliciano. Jose had a really good game last week, a couple of catches. Used that quick speed to his advantage. And here we go, second down, right up the gut. Big hole for Sanders. That's a first down and about 18 to boot. And he does nothing but run between the center and the guards. He gets a big gain, Coach.
That's a good job by the offensive front up there. That's, you know, in a game like this, we were talking earlier, but the game like this, it's going to be a lot of pressure on which front can handle the other one, offense versus defense.
Sanders averages about 7 yards every time he touches the football, and he got about 7 there. Quarterback's not going to go very far as Jalen Oliver, the senior, tracks him down from the weak side. And Frutiloso goes down and probably even lost a couple of yards to boot. The starting defensive lineup for the Vikings, they play the 3-4 like a lot of teams. Henry and Salazar and company, and then you got Oliver, Sands, McGee. Medeiros are your 4 linebackers. Evans, Wheeler, Collins, and Don Evans are your defensive backs in the secondary. Second down. Let's see if Mack will go up the middle. They do, and it's Sanders, and he rips off almost 12 yards to get the first down. Gabriel Sanders, 5'9", 175, great speed. He's been averaging about 105 yards a game, Coach, and a good job by the offensive line.
Offensive line, tremendous job. They marked him a little short of the first down, so we've got a 3rd and short.
At right tackle, 76, 6 foot, 220, Joseph Tate. Tate and also Vieira, the right guard, they crashed down on the center and gave him a pretty good lane to run from off to the right side. So it's 3rd and 1. Frutiloso, a long count, a whistle, still a few seconds on the game clock. Let's see if Nimitz made contact or MacArthur made a move before the snap. And that will be against Nimitz, and the first penalty of the night goes against the Vikings, and that's a first down. Well, that's one of the things that give coaches ulcers, and that is the silly mistakes like that, jumping off sides.
Unforced mistakes, yes, will give you ulcers and make you pull your hair out. That's why I don't have any.
First down and 10, the ball at the 15, opening possession for the Cardinals. They had a good return to about their 45 to start this drive. Sanders right behind the quarterback, and they give it to Sanders, and he makes one miss, and he pretty much rides down the rest of the group until they finally blow the whistle. Number 54, which is Ariel Escobar, a senior defensive lineman now in, playing on his left side. So he had to come all the way across from his left to the right to tackle Sanders and set up a second down and long. So it's kind of consistency for both teams, Coach. You got Nimitz, who might make a good play, but then they give up a big one the very next time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they've got to be a game like this. There's another possibility. Nope, they didn't call it. He got back.
Well, here comes the quarterback to the right side. Yeah, there's a couple of flags. They did end up tossing, doing the encroachment. And we just talked the praises of Escobar, but I think it might have been Escobar and another teammate that came across the line of scrimmage. But the quarterback just keeps it. This is a run-pass option that's, so favorites in the NFL these days, and everyone else is picking up on it. And Fredeloso just goes right and picks up about 9 yards. Let's see if they go for the yardage or the penalty, and I think they're going to take the 5 yards and make it second down and about 5. Fredeloso came in averaging just about 2 yards a carry. He hasn't carried a lot, 25 times in 5 games, so about 5 times a game. And we're at second down and 5 after the penalty. Sanders still in the backfield, and it's a delay handoff, and good effort on his part just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
That's kind of a new way that they run the draw now. It's, basically that's what they're setting as a pass formation. The lineman set the pass block, give a little bit, see the lineman set the pass block, but Nimitz did a good job of reading that and shutting it down.
Yeah, not just one player, but there were about 3 in all. It looked like one of the defensive ends, maybe Henry, came across, and then the sophomore, Mark Lopez, 67, seeing some action for the first time tonight. He, too, kind of cleaned it up a little bit. So now it's 3rd and 5. Not a pass yet for these Cardinals, and they go right to Sanders, who runs right into the arms of Jalen Oliver. And now there's a coaching moment, we like to say, whether you kick it or go for it.
That was a big series for Nimitz right there for Mac to move the ball down the field and get inside the red zone, and then they came up and made a stop. So yeah, it looks like Mac's going for the field goal.
All of this in a drizzle, nothing particularly hard, just a constant light rain. And Yeverino, 5'6", 135, a junior, will try to make this at about a 26-yard attempt. Feliciano is the holder. Good snap. Kick looks pretty good. And it is. So at the 7:01 mark, a field goal by Mac. And when you look at a series like that, both sides takes a little away from it. I guess if you're Mac, you're saying, hey, we walked away with points. If you're Nimitz, you walk away saying, hey, we kept them to just 3 points.
That's exactly right, Rob. Mac's got to be a little bit disappointed because they moved the ball real well. Got down there and kind of bogged down a little bit. But, at least, like you said, they put points on the board, so that's got to be a positive. And then, like you said also, Nimitz is figured, hey, we made a stop. And they did. They made a good stop right there and held them to just 3 instead of 6 or 7.
I'm surprised that Mac didn't throw any. They just ate up a lot of yards last week on those wide receiver screens, split screens, just going from sideline to sideline. They didn't attempt it at all in this series. Again, don't know how much the weather played a part of that, but, it was raining last week too, and they did a really good job about that. So the thing about Mac, they use a lot of kickers. And so you got Everino as your place kicker. Now, Joe Sambando, the junior, he's going to be the guy that kicks it off on the kickoffs. Sanchez and company back to receive this one. And the ball is kicked around and picked back up and spun around as Collins. Collins lucky that one didn't get away from him. And Nimitz will take over. First down, 10 to go on their own 28-yard line. So the starting lineups for the guys up front, Armillo, Escobar, Herrera, Rodriguez, and Flores. Ponce, Nelms, Jernigan, Bennett, Wheeler, look out for him. He's the leading receiver. And Edgar Sanchez, number 17. Christian Nelms, watch the number 6 guy in the backfield. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards already this year. That's him there, number 6, just to the right of Ponce, the starting quarterback. Bad exchange. He somehow gets away from there and gets about a yard and fumbles the football. Was he down or not? And the officials are going to wave this one for the Cardinals. Picking that up is number 11, Gerald Fry. And it just started with the bad snap.
Yeah, the bad snap, and it was. I don't know if he was going to try to hand the ball to Nelms or what, but the quarterback just had to basically pick it up off the ground, try to get what he could. And ball comes out, MacArthur jumps on it.
Well, that's not how you wanted to get things going if you're a Nimitz Viking fan. Fry with the recovery. And now it's a short field for the Cardinals at the 34 of the Vikings.
Put a lot of pressure back on your defense real quick.
Fredeloso fakes to Sanders, keeps. Not a lot of room, might have lost a yard. And Angel Hernandez, number 31, in on the stop. Defensively, it was number 34, Manny Lazo Reyes, the linebacker that knocked it out of Ponce's hands.
I believe he's a leading tackler for Mac this year, isn't he?
Believe so. I'll swing around and get those stats in a minute, but yes, he is. All of their linebackers are.
Yeah, they're 1 and 2 in tackles, yeah,
Yep.
which they ought to be.
Fredeloso got a man. Is that Sanders out of the backfield, or check that and see if it's Chairs, number 9. It is Chairs, number 9. Another first down, and Fredeloso 1-for-1 passing.
Throwing the ball right in the middle of the field. The Nimitz is in a cover 2 look, 2 deep safeties, 2 high, like they say on TV on Sunday, and they got right between the 2.
So Fredeloso is 1-for-1. First down, the clock is moving, and so are the Cardinals. There's Sanders, left side, trying to evade the defensive end. He does so, and he's down inside the 5 to about the 2, a little upset with himself. Thought he should have scored on that play, and man, this game could be getting away from Nimitz in a hurry.
Good speed to get around the corner. Beat him around the corner right there up the field, made a little good move. Good downfield block by number 9.
That was Chairs with the block. Medeiros with the miss just came at him at a wrong angle, and Sanders was able to get to the edge in time. They go to Sanders right up the middle, and waiting for the call. It's delayed, but it's good nonetheless. And touchdown by Gabriel Sanders. And Max on the board again. About a minute and a half, Coach.
That was a opportunistic situation for them, and they cashed in, which is good. I mean, meaning anybody that can cash in like that, either team. I mean, that's a good situation. You want to be able to take advantage of that.
Extra point is good. And it's 10-0 in favor of the Cardinals.
This is again just right up the middle. I think just like we started out with, it's going to depend on which front can control the other one. And you see right there that Mac has a good. They come off the ball well. They get on their person in front of them and create separation.
The way the schedule has worked out this year, MacArthur has both of the Irving schools back-to-back weeks. They haven't defeated both teams winning the Irving Championship since 2015. And Sanders and company well on their way to establishing a trend here against Nimitz just in the first quarter. The rain picking up just a little bit more. And that's always a recipe for a slippery football. And it's fielded at the 18-yard line by Sands. Sands staying on his feet. Look at Sands go over the 35 down to the 38. Like a pinball down there.
Good effort.
Very good
effort. Kept his feet moving. did a good job of holding on to the football.
There you go. There's the big thing there. Well, second possession for Nimitz, and Aiden Ponce, the starting quarterback, started this season as a wide receiver. They had Chance Hernandez as their quarterback. They were going 3-0. Everything was off to a great start, and then he had a stress fracture on his right wrist, his throwing arm, of course, and they got to leave it up to Nelms. So you see there, number 6, forced out of bounds after a pickup of 6. And Nelms, for his credit, boy, those first 3 games, nobody could stop him. And then he hit district, and everyone was waiting for him.
That's what happens sometimes, but you got to be able to maintain those situations, where they got to continue to give him the football, and he's such a great athlete. He's going to break. He'll break.
Second down, quarterback Ponce up the middle. Ponce breaking tackles, still on his feet inside the 35.
Drop the ball.
Was he down or not?
I don't think so.
Not
my call, but I don't think so.
I don't see the officials saying that he was down. Yep. And somehow they keep it. I don't know if Ponce came back up with it or not, but boy, that's the key, Coach, is if they're all going to look at number 6, this is the guy that's got to carry the mail.
Exactly. So they rip it out. I believe I don't know.
I think he was down.
Think he was down?
I think he was
yeah,
down.
well, they were trying to rip it out as he was going
down.
Yeah, which is good. Which is a good thing to be doing on a night like this.
They have a full house backfield, and now they spread it up a little bit.
Direct snap.
And goes right to Helms. Look at the speed. Good downfield block. He's going to go. And just like that, the Vikings are back in it, Coach.
That's a big play for Nimitz. Really is. I mean,
well, hold on a minute. The refs are talking about something.
They're going to bring it back.
I see the flag way over there at the 34. Was it a shift or motion penalty? Don't know if we have the wide shot on replay or not to see if we could see maybe a player moving or wasn't set. Maybe Sanchez wasn't set in time.
They shifted from the full house into a slot formation. Here it is again. Same formation.
No, okay, here they go again. Same way.
Same way.
Got to make sure everybody stops. Now he does. Ponce's in trouble, and he's wrapped up big time by Noah Gibson, the 6'1 senior, 215-pounder. And now you try to see, watch at the top. He works against Flores, beats his man on the wheel route, if you will. And Ponce goes down and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 15, and could have been kicking an extra point.
Gibson leads the team in tackles for losses with 19. Nobody else on the team in double figures in that category. And here goes Nelms again. Man, he is so quick. Couldn't wait on that block on the corner out there and just kept the wheels rolling. And this guy's got a lot of elusiveness. He hits that corner very quickly.
He does, and he watch his feet. He's a good open field runner. He sets people up with his feet and then has a good burst.
Couldn't wait on Bennett to throw the block. So it's 3rd and a couple, and they might have gotten MacArthur offsides, and this is going to be a free play in the end zone. Incomplete. Tried to hit Jernigan, the much taller player on that out play, but that's a free play, and they were smart enough to go deep with it. Back on coverage was Fly, who picked up the first turnover of the ball game.
That'll give them a first down.
So there's the offsides call. 58 degrees at kickoff. Not any wind, really. And like what has been the theme, it seems like, throughout this football season is Friday night rain. Started early and continued on. There is Ponce up the middle, high steps a defender. over the 10 and pretty close to the first down marker.
Doing a good job with the zone read. Like you said, if they're going to keep on Elms, he's got to be the guy.
Well, he's handling it so far.
Just got to hang on to the football.
Yeah. I was looking at the stats between him and Hernandez at quarterback, and they're fairly even passing the football. This is Helms.
He's not down.
He keeps going, and I didn't hear the whistle, but I think they finally have decided that Lazo Reyes made the tackle.
This will be interesting on replay.
You see this a lot on TV where
you do.
Swing over the player.
See if a knee hits or an arm.
No.
I don't. I believe that's a touch.
Throw out the red hanky.
But they didn't call it.
Second and goal. Helms, man, I don't know how he broke that tackle. Daniel Silva thought he had him wrapped up along with Lazo Reyes, and he managed about a yard out of that. So here they are again, third down and about 5. Two Cardinals wrapping them up, or trying to.
He's a good running back. Good running back. You better wrap him up.
Quarterback keeper? Quarterback keeper, is that your call?
Nope. Yeah.
Delays don't count.
Okay.
Steptoe, all 6'3" and 245 pounds of them, number 2. Biggest guy out there. I think they got to go for it. What do I know? Coach wants the points. I'm guessing. As Sanchez is out there. Ponce is his holder, though.
They moved the ball well. So they got to be thinking, hey, next time we get it, we can do the same thing. So let's get the sure points and then come back.
And they did.
Yep.
So Nimitz answers with a field goal of their own and cuts the lead to 10-3. Boy, first time we've seen Helms this year, Coach, and he's kind of an exciting guy to look at.
He really is. He really is. I'm impressed with just the few carries he's had up to this point. He's a real guy. He's got all the moves and speed.
He makes Ponce look good because they're all keying on Nelms.
Traditionally MacArthur has a lot of speed.
Yes.
On their teams, both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And of course, we've already seen tonight how this running back can actually run away from them sometimes. So he does have a lot of speed because I know Mike does.
Mac came in averaging 17 points a game, or allowing 17 points a game. Nimitz 27 points a game. Though Nimitz was scoring about 33 points a game coming in. And here's the kick. And it runs MacArthur all the way back to about the 4-yard line. Howell. And Howell comes to the near side, pretty much how he started the ball game. Pushed out of bounds at their own 40 or so. And it's pretty much identical where they started field position to start the ball game with less than a minute to go here in the first quarter of play. The rain letting off just a little bit. And let's see if they try to ride the wheels of Sanders again on this series. Offensively, they had the ball twice, Coach, and they've come up with 10 points. So if you're Nimitz, you got to try to change that trend. There's a little quick pass out. Is it a backwards pass and a fumble or not? Nimitz is going to fall on it like it is. I think they're going to call it an incomplete pass.
They're going to call it a forward, yeah.
Tried to hit chairs. As you take a look at Brian Rogers on the sideline, his 6th year. Took over for Steve Hohenberger, offensive coordinator for these Cardinals back in 2012.
It's hard to say. He was at MacArthur twice. He was at MacArthur when I came in 97.
See, 2000 sounds better, Coach.
Yeah, I know it does.
Here goes Sanders again. Just breaking tackles.
He's running with a purpose tonight. He's running with a purpose.
Oh, my. He just reeled off 25-plus yards, and it's nothing fancy. It's just up the middle.
No, it's right up the middle. They're getting, body on a body, and then he's doing the rest his own.
Did you notice on that play how the linemen are all just blocking down?
Yes.
They seem just to all be just crunching down. Here's another offsides call against Nimitz. They weren't ready. MacArthur was in the quick huddle.
It's 1st and 5 from the 26.
Sanders playing in just 4 games. And now he's back just in the nick of time for this crosstown rivalry as it's 1st down and 5. MacArthur will have to snap the football before the quarter ends. Sanders left side again. About 10 and a 1st down. A step away from taking that to the house.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Again, the offensive front, the offensive line is doing a tremendous job.
Well, that was a quick and entertaining first quarter. 13 points scored so far, and when we come back, MacArthur will be looking for more. 10-3 after 1. And we're back, 10-3. MacArthur on top, 1st down. They fake to Sanders. Fredeloso over in the flats and incomplete. Tried to hit Reyes, doing a little out, and that'll come back to the line of scrimmage. He had it and then either dropped it or got hit, and they jarred it loose from him. MacArthur 1-2 overall in district. Nimitz 0-3. Nimitz on a 3-game losing streak. MacArthur broke theirs last week against the Irving Tigers. So it's 2nd down. They need to get to about the 7 for a first. Nimitz faking the blitz, whistles. Did the Vikings jump off sides again?
There was some movement in the middle of the line. I don't know if it was Nimitz or Mac. Well, procedure against Mac.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
We haven't had
The 5-yard.
big penalties in the first half. They've all been either offsides or a shift, legal procedure, the 5-yard variety. And let's see if Fredeloso opts to pass again. Feliciano, one of his favorite targets last week, in the slot here to the near side. And Fredeloso tries to keep, and that didn't fool anybody.
Now, trying to run the zone read, looks like, and, I don't know what the read was out there, but he kept it, and Nimitz did a good job of hustling to the ball, getting to the ball.
Yeah, defensive end Angel Hernandez, 31, the junior. The only junior starting for Nimitz. They're all seniors except 2 sophomores on offense and 2 sophomores on defense, and they have 1 junior, and it's Hernandez as a starter for the Vikings. So it's 3rd down, about 16. Fredeloso looks left and just tosses back to the middle like a little screen, and again, fools no one. His chairs turns around, and he's met instantly by Oliver. Jalen Oliver comes in as the 3rd leading tackler on this team for Nimitz, and he's made his presence felt here in the first half, Coach.
That was a good job of reading his little funnel screen right up the middle. See the lineman turn them loose coming through there, but those 2 kids from Nimitz right there read it well, got to the ball quick.
So here is an attempted field goal of about 39 yards. Riverino will have a straight shot, a high snap.
Good kick.
Enough distance, and he nailed it.
Good.
Nicely done. "39-yard field goal." I don't think I can recall. It's been a while where I've seen 3 field goals in the first half.
You know,
of the ball game.
As you said a while ago, that's 3 possessions for Mac and 3 scores.
For Vikings and their offensive game plan now is I think, sure, they can get away with another 3 points on the board, but they're probably looking to try to get 7 out of there.
Yeah, they're going to, it looks, you know, from what we've seen up to this point, it looks like they're going to have to at least match Mac point for point. Not going to be a situation where, you know, keeping it close until late in the game and then doing something. They're going to have to try to catch up quickly.
Nimitz was out of the gates really quick this year, and they scored 58 against Creekview, most they've ever scored in school history. Before that, it was 56. They did that a couple of times as the kick is pooched and will be taken over by Chris Bennett at about, the 35 or so yard line, maybe the 34. Viking schedule, they started off with 3 wins, quite impressive. Beat Richardson, Trojans of Newman Smith, and Creekview. Then they hit district, and then they had to play Hebron. Man, that's a tough one to handle. Marcus played them well, lost by 4, and then Flower Mound. Marcus does just enough to win. If you look at how they play,
They do, you're right.
just enough to pick up the W. Helms has nowhere to go there.
They're having trouble with their exchange. I can't figure out what the problem is. Maybe the wet ball, I don't know. But, you know, that wasn't real smooth exchange right there.
Noah Gibson, we'll call his name a few times tonight. He wrapped him up. Since MacArthur's so big up front, you've pretty much got to strike in a hurry. And there's a man wide open at the 45-yard line. Jernigan inside the 30. And Nimitz, with one long pass, is back in business.
Fake the sweep, and then they just hit the guy. Looks like he just ran a go route down the sideline, and I don't know if it was the cornerback that was supposed to go with him or the safety was supposed to come over the top, but like you said, he was wide open.
I think they're just so trained to try to stop Nelms. They all just immediately
Hey, you're probably right.
just focus in, and they got caught with nobody back in deep help. And this is Nelms' right side.
Jernigan is their leading receiver, I believe. Is that correct?
Jernigan is their top guy.
Yeah. You want to keep eyeballs on him.
But also Brandon Wheeler. He's the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Sophomore. Right. He's the man with 6 touchdowns, about 11 yards a catch. Jernigan right behind him, and that might be another thing. They might, try to double up or keep an eye on Wheeler and Jernigan, who's left all by himself, although I do see a safety now kind of
peeking over there. I saw that.
Doing the best he can. Ponce hit right at the line. Silva, number 3. The 3 leading tacklers for Mac are linebackers: Reyes, Howell, and Silva. Then you got Burris, the defensive end, People or Williams, the tackle, and then Peoples, the safety. Those are your top 6 tacklers defensively for this Cardinal club. On the flip side, all the linebackers are like 2, 3, 4, and 5 for Nimitz. But the 3-4 sets you up as such where linebackers do a good job and are in a position to make the play. 3rd down and 5. Ponce across the middle, caught again. Nicely done by Jernigan.
That little in route that time, instead of going up the sideline, he broke it off to the post on a slant, deep slant.
And Ponce doesn't take a lot of time. 1,000, 2, 3, throw. That's what you got to do.
Good placement, good ball placement.
So we're at the 7:45 mark before intermission. If both bands perform, we'll have it for you. Last week that wasn't the case. We don't want to get the instruments wet. Rain's not quite as tough tonight. There goes Nelms and
touchdown.
Well, we got another.
Knocked him out of bounds.
Got another flag. The side judge again. Let's see what Ryan Vance, the referee, has to say. It's probably against
sideline warning against Nimitz. It's their first sideline warning of the game.
Sideline encroachment.
Sideline warning.
Well, if it's a warning, they don't penalize you. the first time. It's like when you get a warning for going too fast, Coach.
That's right.
Right? If
Yeah,
you get a warning.
It's a freebie.
It's a freebie.
If it's a freebie.
It's a mulligan
Don't,
for the
that's right.
golfers.
Yeah.
You get a mulligan.
Don't do it again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nelms was like, oh, great. Thank you.
You know, that's strange where the position of the ball was, though. I mean, because, you know, you can see the sideline over there right now.
There's
Now
Nelms.
he's in the end zone.
It's like, okay, finally.
We're getting set up for a crosstown shootout tonight, I
Are
believe,
we,
Rob.
though?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, you said the sideline. Maybe some of the cheerleaders or pep squad, can that
They
be
can,
a side?
they can. It's when anybody on your sideline, regardless who it may be, technically you're responsible for them.
Sanchez has it blocked. Ponce picks it up. He's the holder. He's still on his feet. He got the 2 points. Oh, my.
That was another great effort. You know, this is a good example of a crosstown rivalry. I mean, kids do things that they just do because they want to real bad when two city teams are playing.
Let's watch the touchdown first of all, and it's going to be Nelms, left side. He just needs a little gap is all it takes. And we'll watch it again at ground level. Just a dive left.
Breaks it outside to the daylight.
That extra point, Hassan, number 14, came across. Thought he had the block, and Ponce picks it up, scores a 2-pointer. Watch the top of your screen, 14.
Block right there.
Yeah, that's Hassan. Right it. Okay, Ponce.
Right into his hands.
Uh-huh.
Didn't even hit the ground.
One good block, one good dink, and then he just holds on for dear life.
He's strong. That's
Yeah.
a great effort right there.
Yeah, Fly couldn't
Great
hold
effort.
him. He just used his strength and gets the 2 points.
Andrew Sanchez will be kicking off for the back.
Wasn't that fun?
Crosstown, you never know.
That's right.
You never know what's going to happen in one of these games.
Here is the kick, fielded by Fly. Fly across the 35, but then put down at the 40.
Number 11, Jerome.
And that's where MacArthur will set up shop with 7:15 to go before intermission. Dylan Frediloso, number 7, getting the starting job tonight at quarterback. He came in last week against Irving, did an outstanding job, led the offense up and down the field. A lot of wide receiver quick screens, and they're set up for such right now. But he's got Sanders in the backfield, and Sanders wasn't there, and he's making a big difference tonight. Frediloso, there's that little quick out. Gets over to Feliciano, and Feliciano with the quick wheels. Looks like he's either got a first down or pretty close to a first down. Feliciano with 21 catches and averaging about 10 yards a pop. One big one last week, and he is pushed out of bounds after a gain of 7. Clock is stopped. Sanders moves left, maybe 2. Might have gotten to the first down. Micah McGee, number 11. The senior wrapped him up, but they're going to say he got what he needed for the first. Is there anything you can change defensively if you're Nimitz, Coach?
Well, you know, it's. I think you'll see more of an alignment like with McGee. See, he's on the line of scrimmage right now, so basically that's giving them. Well, it looks like they're going to stunt right here. But anyway, what I'm saying is they'll go from a 3-man front to a 4-man front, which that's, you know, you put more men at the line of scrimmage, try to prevent the run. Of course, that, you know, weakens you in some areas. But I would think that would be their first adjustment, going from a 3-man, some type of 3-man to a 4-man. Here he just breaks the ball outside and turns the corner. And again, it's just speed, you know, good speed. Both those backs, Nimitz back, the MacArthur back, have great speed.
The thing about Gabriel is the fact that he's just as good going up the middle are working the edge.
Exactly.
Another first down for MacArthur. Sanders just to the left of the quarterback, and Fredeloso this time keeps. This is a keep everybody honest play. And he is run out of bounds by Mac Evans, a senior cornerback. And that's all that play was designed for, just to let everyone know that sometimes the quarterback may keep it.
We're not going to hand it off every time.
No.
Just most of the time.
Closing in on 5 minutes. The clock had stopped. There's a little quick screen again to Feliciano. Feliciano was 7, maybe 7.5. And it's third down and short. I don't see the MacArthur band yet getting out of the stands, so I don't think they may play. Nimitz is coming out a little bit, but again, the band instruments, they don't like the wet weather. Although the flag corps I see over there is warming up for Nimitz, so we'll see. Meanwhile, back on the field to play, 3rd and 1. Nimitz trying to go for their 4th scoring drive in a row. And it's nothing fancy, just a little out pass, but very effective as Jacob Reyes pushed out of bounds inside the 15. Another MacArthur first down.
You know, those MacArthur receivers, I mean, they're really balanced. Here it is with, like you said, a quick out, and he turns it up the field and is able to make good yardage. What I was going to say real quick is the MacArthur receivers are really well balanced. All their, they all have real close 24, 23, 21 receptions.
Quarterback keeps. Hit from behind by Oliver. Oliver catching him from behind, and he might have got 2. Plenty of time, though.
Again, you're talking about a defensive adjustment, and that's what you're seeing is what Nimitz is doing. They're going to take the running back on the read. You know, they've got somebody assigned to the running back, and if Fredeloso keeps the ball and runs, well, we'll just, chase him down. But they're going to try to stop the running back.
And there he is, right up the middle.
Except on that play.
Gabriel Sanders right up the pipe. And MacArthur is 4 for 4 in scoring drives tonight. Nimitz does not have an answer to number 5.
They don't. On that give right up the middle. I'm not sure I think that's a called play. It's not a read. It's not a zone read. It's not a zone option. It's just we're going to hand it to him. Everybody block big on big and get what we need. Here it is. Let's see. Right up the middle. He just gives it to him. Lineman come off good. Good foot movement. Running back running with a lot of determination.
He had good push.
Yes, he did.
Look at the lineman down there just pushing people. Jeremiah Clark, 67, one of the backup guards. He had pushed his guy all the way to the right, and in fact, Sanders didn't even go that route and had a lot of room there. How many times can you pick your holes as you're going across the line of scrimmage?
I've been impressed with MacArthur's offensive line. They have done a good job to this point.
Pushing people around for sure. But, hey, there's under 5 minutes to go before the half. That's plenty of time for Nimitz to try to answer the call. As Sabando kicks it high and deep, and once again it's fielded by Sands. Sands, left side. Sands with a gap. Sands at the midfield stripe, cutting against the grain. Sands still on his feet. To the 35, pushed down at the 30 in a scrum, and Nimitz is in great shape.
Got the ball 30-yard line.
The second time we've seen Sands return the kick, and, he doesn't look like the, air quote, prototype returner.
No, he doesn't. Does a good job of getting, the little alley on the sidelines. He comes up the sidelines, makes a good move right there. But again, goes back to determination. Look at that.
Well, part of that's going to come back, though.
Oh,
Our first 15-yard penalty of the night, and not at a good time for the Nimitz Vikings. As you take a look at Sanders right there, number 5. Gabriel, the senior, having a really good night in the backfield. So it's 1st and 10. Back up by 9. And there goes Helms again. Nelms. If you might have noticed on that play, some of the MacArthur defenders didn't know who had the ball. Some were kind of going in Ponce's direction, and the other in Nelms, and he comes out with about 5.5 or 6 once it's said and done. So far for Nimitz, Ponce's done just what he needs to as a quarterback, and that's connect on those passes to keep the defensive secondary back, and then he's done a pretty good job running the ball himself.
he has done a good job of running the ball.
Speaking of which,
There it is.
there's a first down. Across the 30. Ponce pushed out of bounds. And the Vikings with another first down.
Kenneth Peoples drives him out of bounds.
See if this is a read option play. He, you know, like you said earlier, everybody's going to Nelms. He keeps the ball, turns it upfield, does a good job. Got good speed.
It's really good speed.
Run down to the
I
16
think if you're
down 10.
Nimitz, you're like, if we score, we don't want to score too quick. All it's going to do is give Mack enough time to come back. So Ponce goes right. Nelms gave him a block. He stays in bounds
Ponce once again on the kick.
with about 4. Silva in on the tackle, number 3, a linebacker. Both teams in the 3-4. Did you run the 3-4 when you were coaching?
No, we were a 4-3 team. We were a 4-3 team, and mostly a zone, a cover 2 zone type thing. We played some man-to-man, but our front basically was a 4-man front.
Second down. It's a quarterback again. Ponce, nice little move at the line of scrimmage. He's a tough man to bring down, and another first down for the Vikings.
It's just a good job of look at the Nimitz offensive line. They do a good job. The backside guard comes across and kicks out, gets a good block right at the point. And Ponce kept the ball, read that block, cut up in behind it.
First and goal for the Vikings.
In goes, ball's at the 4.
Trying to answer the call and go toe-to-toe against MacArthur. Nelms with a sidestep and a score.
We got a good one brewing.
Don't we, though? Go for 2, go for 1. You have your chart? You have your chart out?
I don't have my chart. I threw my chart away when I retired.
I just thought that was great. You know, even when nobody else could go for 2. Wasn't high school like one of the first
It was, yeah.
you could go for 2? Yeah, that's could be an offsides.
Offsides with Mac, I believe.
Yep. Extra point is good. Do you move the ball up?
I started to say, if you have any inclination of going for 2, here's an opportunity because they'll penalize them on the kickoff.
Yeah.
You know, so talking about that chart, go for 2 or go for 1, and sometimes it gets a little out of hand. And I think it happened, I don't know, a week or so ago in a college game where somebody was ahead several points. And they went for 2 and, you know, had a little conflict about it and question about it. And they said, well, that's what the chart said, go for 2 when you're ahead by blah, 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 whatever it was. Here's a touchdown. Again, it's I think this is just a give all the way. I don't know, you might have read that, but it looks like a give because the lineman did such a good job of getting on people. And he makes a good cut to get back out the back door.
Deceptive speed, I would say. And he was never touched. No one touched him. So they moved the ball.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You realize we're seeing a rarity tonight where both teams are relying on the run to move the football.
I'm not complaining.
No, me neither. I love it. I often told our coaches that, you know, right back in the old days, so to speak, rain really never bothered us as far as workouts were concerned, because we could go inside a classroom and work out with our running game. You know, we didn't have to have the spread and the throwing it everywhere. We just ran the ball.
But now schools build indoor practice
Oh,
facilities.
yes, they do.
Because we got to throw, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, 3:27 to go before the half. I'm thinking both teams can score one more time.
There's a chance.
The way things are going nowadays. Sanders up the middle. Corralled by Medeiros. Third on the team. Check that, fourth on the team in tackles. Picks up 6. Clock still moves. I think the rain is pretty much stopped.
Looks like it.
It's very light if it is. Fredeloso keeps probably about a yard shy. Wrapped up by Oliver. The senior has been busy tonight at defensive end and linebacker number 1.
Yes. And McGee has done a good job.
Yep, number 11.
Uh-huh.
So it's 3rd and short. You got to think maybe Sanders right up the middle. Nimitz is playing that. The linebackers are moving up. Sands, number 20. You can't see it in this angle, but he's almost lining up between the guard and the center.
Yeah, he's
Everybody's up front, and they give it up front to Sanders, and if you don't stop him at the line of scrimmage, he's going to go 65 yards.
Well executed play. Well executed up front. And then, of course, he did the rest on his own, but, I mean, you know, there wasn't anybody there. Short yardage situation, nobody there in the back end.
Well, it took 1 minute and 22 seconds total. Like I said, too much time left. We can get a couple of more scoring opportunities.
You were right.
You saw what Nimitz was trying to do. They were trying to jam the middle, force the issue. But once he got past the first guy, nobody's home.
Yeah, when you bring the linebackers up on a run blitz, and you know you break it, and there's nobody at the second level. Here's the replay right here, right there. It's over now. I mean, you know, with his speed, obviously, but.
Don't know if we have that from end zone or not. Oh, thank you very much.
There it is.
Watch the center 71. Watch Lopez. And watch the kick down by Efon 79. I think it was more the left guard. 6'1", 275. Efon with the crack back and gave Sanders a virtual Big Mac truck hole to run 65 yards in the score. MacArthur up now 27-18. You a fan of the pooch kick?
Well, you know, it depends on the ability that you have, that people can kick the ball. You give up a lot of field position when you pooch kick it. I mean, obviously, and you have to rely greatly on your defense. But you know, if you don't want to get in a situation where you're going to give them a nice, easy one about the 20-yard line where they can get the good run backs.
Right. So,
you know, you're kind of getting in a danged if you do and danged if you don't situation sometimes. So
that was the first time Sands didn't have a pretty good return.
Exactly.
They put a little air underneath it, and Jacoby Woods, number 26, came blazing across and made the tackle. And Nimitz will have it at their own 35. A direct snap to Nelms. Nelms left side. Gets the first down, stops the clock. A direct snap to the Sanders counterpart. Nelms wears 6, Sanders wears 5, and we're having a show by both teams. Coach, you ever use numbers like that on the sidelines
no,
or pictures? That's a new thing, isn't it?
That's new, yeah. That was after my time.
Ponce keeps, breaks the tackle. And goes out of bounds around the 40. See, I could make it sound like you're like really old. Yeah, that's just them young kids today. They put up signs and numbers and.
That's right. Well, Rob, I am really old. I
wasn't going to bring that up.
Yeah.
We were going to make light of the situation.
I still enjoy the game. I still enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I still enjoy being around the kids.
Yeah, tonight, shoot, anybody that's a fan of high school football would enjoy tonight's ball game. Well, here we go again to Jernigan.
Jernigan again.
Jernigan breaks it.
Look at this.
Hey, inside the 15. Jernigan's having a career night. Jernigan's tall. He's got good size. He makes for a good target, Coach.
I think they're picking on the side, obviously his side over there, but I mean they're trying to single cover him, like you said earlier. I'm sure they're trying to double up on Wheeler, but single cover and he's getting open. Quarterback's putting the ball right on the number.
Times Nelms didn't go anywhere. Blake Burris in on the tackle. It pushed him back at least 6. Nimitz has all 3 timeouts. So it's 2nd and 16. Wheeler in the slot to the left.
Good move. Good move on the corner.
They're looking Wheeler's way, but Burris is there to make the tackle. Burris is a tough customer. He's
47, came around the edge with a good swat and slam and got there quickly.
Yeah, that's Abdon Munga, number 47. He's about 6th on the team in tackles. Came in with just a couple for losses, but between Burris and Munga, those 2 guys are hard to handle. Now look at Nimitz. They find themselves 3rd down in an eternity.
3rd and long, yeah.
With 35 seconds to go, and Nimitz will call timeout and try to figure out what to do to try to salvage this drive. Now I think you might be thinking, don't do anything to put us out of field goal range.
Yeah, that's a good point right there. Make sure you don't take a sack. They're probably going to throw the ball, run a screen, maybe a draw. But, if we throw the ball, don't take a sack, we still had a shot at a field goal. So you're right.
Coming into tonight's game, standing-wise, we got Flower Mound up top. Louisville, Coppell, Hebron, Marcus, all at 2-1. And then the 3 Irving schools, MacArthur, Nimitz, and Irving. You almost might want Ponce to do the pass run option or fake it to Nelms and keep it. That seems to have been working tonight. But for MacArthur, the best defensive move for them is just the pressure on Ponce.
MacArthur has a very, very physical defensive front. I mean, you can see their size, but it's like you said, put pressure on him.
Williams and Gibson both were right in the quarterback's face. Let's see, the ball would be at about the 32. That would be a 42-yard field goal, Coach. It's 4th and 21. If your kicker has any kind of range, I think a kick would be in order. I mean, this is a long 4th and 21.
Yes, it is, and you're at the point where you need points. I mean, 3 points is.
Well, they tried to hit Jernigan. It was a little short. Maybe Ponce starting to feel the pressure. Noah Gibson, 15, coming off the edge again.
Yep.
And Nimitz will turn the ball over. The replay, top of your screen, Coach. Watch the red jersey.
Right. Comes around the corner just like he did. They, that time they had a back also pick him up from the left tackle, stepped out, tried to slow him down a little bit. Then the back stepped over trying to stop him, but he still had good pressure on the quarterback.
3 scores in the first quarter, 5 scores in the second quarter, 45 combined points in the first half. And Fredoloso says, that's going to do it, folks. We're not going to chance it at all. The Cardinals will get the kick in the second half, I believe. And we will throw it to break, and I believe we'll have a at least one band, maybe two out tonight for your halftime enjoyment. 27-18 at the break. Back with more in a moment. It's halftime between the Vikings and the Cardinals. Both the drill teams will perform at the same time. Always enjoy that. And we'll have more halftime entertainment as well, so let's send it down to the field.
Senior Lieutenant Allison Salinas, First Lieutenant Jenny Munoz.
And your Vikings dance team captain, Stephanie Alfara Zaleo. The Cardette dance officers are Lieutenants Brianna Butler, Daisy Wynn, Alexis Velasquez, Olivia Wells, and Captain Elizabeth Carmona. Vica's Smile of the Week is Lizbeth Rivera. Vica's Spirit Girl of the Week is Social Secretary Samia Shelton. Vica's Dance Team Member of the Week is Captain Stephanie Alfaro Zalea. Vica's Teacher of the Week, Assistant Director Sabrina Warner. Vica's Administrator of the Week, Miss Mary Kay Dixon. Cardette Smile of the Week is Angelina Blandon. Cardette Spirit Girl of the Week is Olivia Wells. Cardette Rookie of the Week, America Martinez. Cardette of the Week is Samantha Hernandez. Cardette Administrator of the Week, Mr. Thomas. The Vicas are under the direction of Miss Christiana Hogan, and the Cardettes are under the direction of Miss Christine Latin. Today, the drill teams are wearing pink accessories to honor those who have lost their battle with breast cancer, and to bring awareness for those who are still fighting. Tonight, we are proud to take the field together in the spirit of friendship and sportsmanship to bring you your halftime entertainment. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this high-energy palm routine to The Race.
Let's hear it for our drill team.
A job well done by both drill teams. Always enjoy when they have a collaboration, if you will, between both schools. And with Breast Cancer Awareness and Cancer Awareness Month, some of the cheerleaders been wearing are having out the pink pom-poms and the pink shoes and everything by both squads, so it's kind of nice to see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first half highlights. First of all, it was 3-0 in favor of MacArthur before the beginning of the Sanders show, and he just takes the dive right up the gut.
Sanders up the middle.
MacArthur was up 13-3, and then it was time for Nelms. He had one touchdown called back because of a penalty, makes this one count, and it turned out to be 13-11 because look at this. The extra point was blocked. Ponce, great effort, gets the 2-point conversion, and it's just a 2-point ball game, 13-11. MacArthur, but MacArthur just unstoppable, particularly this guy here, number 5. Look at the downfield blocking. Sanders goes in for the score. It's 20-11. But back come the Vikings. They cut it to 2. It's Nelms, who had 44 first half yards, 20-18. MacArthur still on top. But here's Mr. Sanders. 186 yards in the first half, 65 of those right there, 27-18 at the break. Man, some exciting first half highlights, particularly those in the backfield. And Ponce, he had close to 100. Here are the stats. Cardinals lead in first downs, passing. Who needs to pass on a night like tonight, huh? Almost 200 yards rushing for the Cardinals, 144 for the Vikings. Just 1 turnover, 5 penalties for the Vikings, and 2 against the Cardinals. All right, the Nimitz Viking band down on the field. Let's take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nimitz High School Marching Band featuring portions
2018 UIL Marching Show, Oppenheimer. If you have a chance to come see the band October 27th at Birdville ISD Stadium, they will be performing in the UIL Area Marching Contest after receiving straight ones from their judges at their UIL Region Contest this past Wednesday. Once again, let's hear it for the Nimitz High School Marching Band.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now taking the field for the red and white, carrying decades of dedication and with PRIDE pride in their eyes, the mighty MacArthur Cardinal Marching Band.
this week we will be
The
performing
Cardinal Claw, featuring the drum line, and Burlesque, featuring the trumpet section. The band is under the direction of Frank Salinas and Anna Hinojosa. Percussion directors are Oliver Delado and West Fox. The color guard director is Michael Henson. Drum majors for the band are Marion Smith, Ruth Kim, and Pedro Andrade. Band members of the week are David Reyes and Kevin Almaraz. Percussion member of the week is Caleb Baker. Color guard member of the week is Kaylee Parton. Drum majors, is your band ready?
Here's their halftime performance, an abbreviated version, if you will, since it is a little damp and rainy outside. They decided still, though, to hit the field and gave it the old high school try. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. It is halftime. We've got a few minutes before the second half kickoff. We'll be back in a moment with our score, MacArthur 27, Nimitz 18. Stay with us on ICTN. Well, an overcast and misty Friday night in the city. That is downtown Dallas back in the distance. 27-18, Cardinals on top. We'll play hypotheticals here, Coach. If you're Nimitz, what do you tell your kids?
Well, I think that, they've done a good job offensively. They've got to shore up their defense a little bit and just try to get the momentum back on their side. This is, I think, we've all seen it's a swing of momentums in these kind of games.
This is Bartlett on the wing, and Bartlett gives his offense some pretty good field position. If you're the Cardinals, I guess you just keep on doing what you're doing.
I wouldn't. I'd change very little, especially offensively. And they're really doing a good job. The offensive line is doing a great job. Of course, the running back Sanders is, obvious what he's done. Very good job.
He's on fire, as they like to say. So Nimitz, since they deferred the opening kickoff, will have possession first offensively at their own 40. Jernigan to the very bottom part of the field, and Ponce goes right up the middle, picks up where he left off. And, the old bumbling, stumbling, that's what he's doing. I mean, he's not fleet of foot, but he's tough to bring down.
He really is. I mean, I think his speed is deceptive. Here's a replay, and, he fakes a handoff, hits right up the middle, breaks it outside. Again, he's strong. He's a strong kid. Amazing. He's got 96 yards. That puts him over 100.
He's good at making people miss.
Yes, he is.
It takes a couple sometimes to grab him, or you gotta tackle low. You can't tackle high. And this is a quarterback keeper, and he just goes behind Nelms. It looks like Burris, along with one of his teammates, able to finally put him down. If you just joined us, their starting quarterback, who wears 2, Chance Hernandez, started the season until he had a stress fracture on his throwing arm right around the wrist. May play the very last game of the year. That would be Nimitz and Irving, I believe, and we'll have that one on ICTN. 2nd and 6. Ponce, he played quarterback last year. Was going to be a receiver this year, and they had to move him back and take the snaps, and he's done a pretty good job. And this one, he just has to throw away. I mean, everyone was in his face. Paul Williams, the guy that plays nose tackle for Mac, was just one of many red jerseys, and there wasn't really no one to throw to. He has to throw quick passes. I don't think he can sit back there more than a couple of seconds.
No, I think you're exactly right. I mean, it's got to be the pressure that Mac's putting on him with their front. It's got to be a, 1, 2, 3-step drop, throw it.
So an early big downer here for Nimitz. They go to Nelms, and Nelms just shuffles the feet. He will be very close to a first down. I think he may be half a yard shy. Ponce's already looked at his head coach and said, let's go for it, and I think he's going to agree. And it's 4th and 1.
It's a big down for Nimitz right here. Big down.
And timeout called. Well, now we got a flag. Maybe illegal substitution, too many guys on the field, but there's a flag. The back judge called it.
Timeout.
I think Mac had too many people on the field.
It's their first timeout of the second half.
The flag. I guess he's going to put it back in his pocket. Maybe he didn't see the timeout called, but Coach Mullins called the time. He saw there were too many men out there. Hopefully he won't need that later in the ball game, but he has to extinguish one now. The thing about Mac, Coach, and we were talking about this, they lost to Coppell by 7. They lost to Louisville by 4. So they lost by 11 points their first 2 games. And, those are the games you lose sleep over. You go, what could I have done differently to pull out a win?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Coppell game was a field goal right at the end of the game. And then Louisville was a punt return. Mac was ahead 10-7. They ran the ball, ran a punt back, and got their 14 points. So, yeah, those are the head scratchers.
You think about Nimitz, on the other hand, against Marcus, that they lost by 4. They outrushed and outpassed their opposition. Nelms had 124 yards, but they turned the ball over a couple of times. So that's the one that they have to think about. 4th down, they need a half a yard. Nelms gets the yard and more. Pushed out of bounds, but not until he gets the first down. Daniel Silva, the last Cardinal between Nelms and the goal line. The play took a long time to develop.
It did. He made a very athletic move right here. Bounces out. That's a very good move for anybody, any league, any level. Good job.
That's like when a basketball coach he's the guy about to take a three-pointer, and he goes, no, then he makes it. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, don't turn this way. So they get the first, and they go back to Nelms again. And he doesn't have a lot of room. He was pushed out of bounds by DeMarcus Sanders, the senior, one of the corners. And he just didn't have a lot of room to work with. Maybe 2 on the play. Well, nope, they gave him 2 more. So the down marker is about 2 yards behind where the line of scrimmage is. Now, well, are they going to move it back? So the down marker was correct.
Down marker was correct.
So he did only get 2 yards.
Yeah.
First offensive series of the 3rd quarter. There goes Nelms in motion. They fake it his way. Ponce with plenty of time has a man open in the end zone but throws it short. A had plenty of time. Tried to hit Edgar Sanchez, number 17, who is also the field goal kicker. Nelms went out of the backfield. They had him Wheeler did, to draw the defensive players over. Then had another running a post. Couldn't go to him, and they looked up at the last second, and there was Sanchez. Just didn't have enough time to plant and get anything behind the pass. Nimitz doing some more passing here in the 3rd quarter. There's a crossing route, and Sanchez wasn't even looking around.
That's those things hurt right there. And they really, take the wind out of your sails, so to speak. You had a little drive going. You picked up the first down on a critical 4th down play, and now you've kind of lost your momentum. They got to get it back right here.
You can see Ponce telling his receiver, "Hey, you've got to do this."
Just a little miscommunication on that route.
Yep. He was open in the middle. So now it's 4th down and 9. I don't see him trying to run this on 9 yards, and they're not going to try to here. Ponce flush from the pocket. He's going to have to do it on his own. One stiff arm, and he might have got it.
I believe he did.
Well, if you would have said, hey, Rob, we're going to have Ponce scramble for the first before the snap, I would have said, no.
Again, you got great pressure from Mac's front, and this kid is he's doing a lot of stuff just on his own. Just, great effort. Got to admire.
That was Kenneth Peoples, number 25. He was able to avoid and get the first down. So they reset the chains. They give to Nelms. Does a great job of making people miss and gets to the 10. 2nd and short. This drive, Coach, has lasted over, 5 minutes?
Sure has. Taking time off the clock, moving the ball down the field. They got to cash in, just like we said right at the very beginning of the half. They got to get something on this drive to get back in and get the momentum on their side, get a little excitement going.
There's that same formation we saw in the 2nd quarter. 2 men to the right. Ponce keeps, and it does not fool the defensive corner, or the defensive end, Noah Gibson, 6'1", 215, number 15. Also Paul Williams, number 6. Both of those guys, watch it here. They try to go to Nelms. Watch right there. That's just a textbook tackle.
Gibson has had a lot of big plays tonight, just a lot of big individual plays.
I wonder if that was a case of, and then he comes off the field a little bit, looks a little woozy. Why not? You hit a big quarterback head on. Sometimes those defensive ends are told the quarterback's your guy.
Exactly right.
Here comes Nelms again, breaks the tackle. Still on his feet, maybe to the 7.
Close to a first. I think he's a little short. Yep.
Abraham Hassan was the first to make contact and slowed him up a little bit.
Direct snap to him, to Nelms. He breaks a tackle there. He keeps working his way outside. Breaks another. He didn't break that tackle, but he keeps fighting. Picked up good yards.
Here's another 4th down play.
4th down, critical.
They tried to get MacArthur to jump off sides. They wouldn't do it. Ponce looks again, hands off. That should be good enough for the first, and it'll be 1st and goal from about the 5. Well, that's 2 4th down conversions the Vikings have made on this series. Started back around the 30.
Wonder how many plays they've had in this drive right now. This is a pretty good drive going. Like you said, with 2 4th downs.
I'd say a dozen.
Another great direct snap.
He fumbled, but it was out of bounds. He seemed to get turned around and lost his balance as he was heading toward the sideline and ended up losing the football, but it went out of bounds. Do we have a penalty flag? I think we do on the far, nope. Well, the umpire, which is Manley, talking to the linesman, Barbie. And it seems like MacArthur's fired up about it. A lot of discussion, Coach.
Referee will tell us right here.
Ryan Vance.
Into the end zone and hit the pylon. Therefore, by rule, it's a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, they're saying he fumbled out of bounds.
Fumbled the ball into the end zone.
Right.
Fumbled the ball into the end zone. I
Let's
thought there was a face mask. Yeah.
Well, they grab. They pull it down. There's the ball. We can't see if it goes across. At that point, it was just way too tight.
Results of the fumble.
I don't know.
After hitting the pylon. Cardinal football. 1st down 10.
Let's look at from this angle.
There's the face mask.
There's the face mask. There's the ball, but again, it's just, well, it hits the pylon.
It's the pylon,
Yep.
so it's in.
Yep, it hits the pylon. Then,
Yep, it's out of the end zone.
Yep. So a bad break for Nimitz, a good break for MacArthur. And it goes back to the Gabriel Sanders show.
A little different look. Instead of running him up the middle, a little quick pitch, get him around the corner.
Well, you always hear the cliche gut check time. This is a gut check time, I think, for Nimitz.
Yes, it is.
MacArthur come down and just score again. If they score a touchdown, that's really going to tighten the screws on Nimitz for the remainder of the ball game. Frediloso with this little option play to Feliciano. Feliciano wrapped up and thrown down shy of the sticks. It was Mac Evans, number 4, the corner, came off his man and made the tackle. And it'll be 3rd down and about 1 to go. You know, these are the plays that have really killed Nimitz that MacArthur's been able to cash in on, and that's where they just give it to Sanders straight up the middle.
Exactly. On short yardage situations, and then he just breaks it.
Every time, and you catch Nimitz just trying to clog up the middle. He breaks that first line of defense, and he's gone. Here it is again. This time they're waiting on it, but I still think he gets enough for the 1st down, at least from this angle. First time that literally that the Vikings have been able to keep Sanders in check.
Sanders.
And he gets the 1st down. When you've got the lead and the ball, sure, you got a whole nother quarter to go, but you can take your time in calling your plays.
Again, I think you got to give a lot of credit to the MacArthur offensive line. Those guys are doing a good job.
Frediloso, he's going to go deep. Overthrows his man, trying to hit a Kari running a streak. And that'll stop the clock with just over 2 minutes to go. MacArthur again will take on Hebron, and then Marcus, and then Flower Mound. That's their next three. Nimitz with Louisville, Irving, and Coppell to finish out the season. 2nd down and 10. We've seen Frediloso the entire game in at quarterback, the junior. And they go right. A lot of running room for Chairs. Chairs still down the sideline. And knocked out of bounds.
Got a flag back at the 46.
That's usually in the area of a bad block.
Block in the back, maybe.
Picked up about 30.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, 2nd down.
So a team that made a handful of mistakes last week against Irving have been doing a really good job tonight. Pushes him down right to the right of your screen. And he had the block, Coach. He didn't have to do anything.
No, he didn't. Those will cause nightmares.
So the sticks remain the same. So once they move it back 10 yards, it's really just a 5-yard penalty. Crossing pattern, complete. Key with some open space. The 1st down, ridden down to the 30. Wheeler on the tackle, but not until MacArthur strikes big.
This is a good job on the read option. You know, the RPO, they call it, read pass option, run pass option, and he hits the slant pattern. Makes a big yardage.
Had one-on-one coverage, and Key, who we haven't talked about a lot tonight, comes up big on that play.
You know, MacArthur just hasn't thrown the ball. There hadn't been a need for him to throw the ball.
In the flat, trying to hit Feliciano. Little John going on the sideline between Nimitz and MacArthur. Oh, that never happens, does it?
Never against a crosstown rival, never. They're always talking about how nice
they're playing and how they appreciate their efforts.
How nice the weather is. And
the play stops the clock. I think it's time for another dose of Sanders, don't you? And look at Nimitz trying to blitz. This is always costly. And he turns the corner. A stiff arm around the 22 sets up a 3rd and about 2 or 3. I notice now that things are getting a little chippy out there. They're doing a lot of talking, nothing more than talking, but both the back judge and the umpire have made a habit of it the last couple of plays to kind of be in the thick of things.
Got to make sure that nothing gets out of hand. And the teams have got to make sure. I mean, you know, you want to play hard, you want to play with a lot of effort, but you know, keep it, do everything with the pads the way you're supposed to.
3rd and about 3. Quarterback keeps. Frediloso still in bounds. They said he stepped out around the 2. It's probably one of the best running plays by Frediloso at quarterback this season for him.
It really is. Does a good job. He hits it up in there, then gets back out to the sideline. He's a little bit like Ponce. I mean, you know, it's hard to judge the speed that he has going down the sideline.
Wheeler kind of whiffed on the tackle, and that gave Frediloso another 4 or 5 yards. So 1st and goal. They bring Sanders back in from the slot. Sanders right side, touchdown.
Offensive line.
It's Gabriel Sanders barreling in from the 1. Quarterback touchdown.
Well, it took about 10 minutes for someone to finally score.
Yeah, we were in a drought. We were in a scoring drought.
Nimitz kept it for so long.
Yeah.
Arena for the extra point try.
Ivarino's extra point is good.
It is good.
And MacArthur up. Watch it again.
Offensive line just comes straight off. They do a good job of driving the defensive front back. Running back finds daylight, gets in the end zone. You know, what you were talking about a while ago, Rob, about the turnover that Nimitz had down here on the other end, what really is going to affect them now is they're going to get out of the rhythm of their game plan, you know, by being behind, you know, as far as they are right now. They can't just continue to run the football and run the clock at the same time. They've got to put points on the board fast. So it'll get them a little bit out of their game plan. Hopefully, you know, not too much, because they do have great threats at running the ball.
So you think it's time to start throwing more?
Well, I mean, it just gets you into a situation where you can't have any type of time-consuming drive right now, because you're running out of, you're down to 17 minutes of play almost, something like that, and so you got to make every play count. You got to make every tick of the clock count.
Nimitz will set up at their own 33-yard line. What are they? 16 points behind.
16 down.
So just 2 touchdowns and two two-point conversions.
Yeah, you know, two possessions technically, but
and a whole quarter left.
But as we've seen, you know, the only quick strike ability that either team has, obviously, is the threat of the running back. So they've got to continue to get the ball to their good running backs.
I'm trying to think if Nimitz has been able to stop MacArthur at all. Ponce for maybe
series,
a couple. I think the only time MacArthur stopped themselves when they took a knee before the half. I think every time they've had the ball, they've scored. Either 3 points or a touchdown. You know, and all it's going to take, I think, for this game to finally get out of hand would be if Nimitz doesn't score here.
That's true.
If they turn it over or something, it'll be so devastating that they'll feel like it's such a long hill to climb. It'll take the wind out of their sails. Ponce a little upset at himself as he tried to hit Bennett on a crossing pattern. I've seen a few of those passes tonight for Ponce that he's just kind of threw it at the feet of his receivers. You know, is it the pressure? Is he not setting right?
Doesn't look like he's really getting his feet set. I mean, that particular last play looked like he might have been leaning back a little bit as he threw the ball. And you got to have your feet under. You got to be able to distribute your weight forward and follow through.
Nimitz taking a lot of time. They'll probably have to call time. And they do at the 4:16 mark. You know, we've talked about Nelms and what a great job that he has done rushing the football. When he picked up 253 yards against Newman Smith, it was the most by a Viking running back since Mark Eugene, from just a few years ago, actually. Piled him up against R.L. Turner, a couple of Carrollton schools, if you will. But you see right there, David Watkins, boy, he was a fun guy to watch back in 05. You see the 200-yard single-game rushing accomplishments by Nimitz, and Nelms has had a couple.
Yes, he has. Yep.
And back in those Florida days, he ran all the time. So, well done by Nelms, and now with 3rd and long, and after a Nimitz timeout, the offense for Nimitz trying to answer the bell. Jernigan has one-on-one coverage. Hassan's on him on the near side of the field, just at the very bottom of your screen, although now with 2 receivers set, they have safety help as well. Ponce has a man, and it's Jernigan. Jernigan popped pretty hard by Burris. Burris, a defensive end, and he's going to be called, I think, for the hit. Maybe going to the helmet. Burris is a defensive end, Coach. He came all the way over from the other side of the field, still hustling to put on the hit, but I think he's going to be called for the personal foul.
believe you're right.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on number 32 of the defense for taunting.
32.
That 15-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. 1st and 10.
I said taunting, not the hit, but taunting. Let's watch toward the end of the play. Ponce, good job getting it away. And he popped him good. And I don't know what he did taunting-wise, unless he just didn't get off of him in time.
That's what I think he probably said something. That was the only thing I could see.
Back to action. Nelms keeps breaking tackles. Takes about 8 players on the Cardinals to finally put it to an end. He ran about 10 yards to get no yards. Wasn't a lot of help on that play. The clock rolls. Defense, who needs defense?
You know, since early in the game, Mac has done a good job controlling Nelms. Of course, sponsors picked up the slack, and like I said, he's at rush for over 100, but they've really done a good job of controlling Nelms.
I think they did a good job. They got Josh Howell on Wheeler, and I think they've done a good job of containing Wheeler. Meanwhile, they just snap it right back and
direct snap to Nelms and let him find a place to run.
He's done pretty good on that formation.
Yep, another flag. There's got to be a lot of talking going on out there.
I think this one's going to go against Nimitz. Looks like Pardita 66 was pleading his case, and the official said something over to Coach Rogers.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on number 6 of the offense. That's number 6's first unsportsmanlike foul to be 3rd down.
That's Nelms. Also got a little upset with some of the hitting going on right there toward the end of the play. We don't know when the whistle blew from this end. And Nelms is going to take a breather, and they got Collins in, number 3. It's Collins just to the right of Ponce. And Ponce tries to break through, and Burris drags him down around the waist. Lost his helmet. And that's going to be 4th down and about 20. Burris has to go out because the helmet came off. Go for it, huh, Coach?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Of course, you run out of time, you run out of snaps. You gotta try to make something happen.
Come on, Coach. You don't care. You're not coaching anymore.
That's true. It's a lot easier to make decisions up here.
Then you're still second guessing.
Yeah.
Tried to hit Wheeler.
Had he set up too.
Yep, a little too tall.
Had he set up well.
And MacArthur offense, which has been unstoppable tonight. Take to the field to see if they can add to the scoreboard.
There's a little bit of difference in body language right now.
Yes. Heads were low going off, and Mac was for Nimitz, and Mac was coming off the field sky high.
That's right.
That
play they opened the game with.
Yeah, a little double reverse. Oliver stays home to stop chairs for a gain of maybe 1. Good job by Oliver not to bite on the first little toss. They tried to go deep once to Akariai. He is all the way to the bottom. Mac Evans on him. Pretty much one-on-one coverage because they have the safety on Feliciano also here on the near side. And they just give it right up the middle to Sanders. Nimitz a little bit better job there of collapsing the pocket. 67, Mark Lopez, a sophomore. Second on the depth chart, but getting a lot of action for Nimitz here in this ball game.
Oliver and McGee still very active on defense, doing a good job for Nimitz.
Is it the Gabriel Sanders show on third down? Going to be a straight pass right across the middle, complete, well done. Going is Reyes. Reyes is going to go the distance. 51-yard touchdown.
Quick slant off the read, off of the play action pass.
51 yards from Cardinals to Jacob Reyes.
Right before the end of the third quarter. They did that similar play, if you recall, to Key that picked up big yardage. Key was on the near side and he ran kind of across the middle like that, and it worked well. This time they just go to the opposite side.
They switch sides with it. Exactly right. They got the good fake off of the run. Ferguson did a good job of it.
Reyes came in as the leading receiver on this team, averaging about 12 yards a catch. And that was 51 yards. And another MacArthur touchdown.
It was a great play, and it wasn't much of a play action. It was just a straight 1-2-3 drop and throw the ball on a quick slant because the running back stepped out to pick up the defensive end.
Wouldn't you say this is the type of coverage you get when you have a really good running game?
Yes, exactly. Exactly, because you could see just the play before when you were talking about it, you could see the safeties were cheating up. Both safeties were cheating up closer and closer to the line of scrimmage. You get a situation like that right there where you break behind them and there's nothing there.
All he had to do was get some space on the corner, had no deep help.
Exactly.
And just took it to the house, and 41-18 with one full quarter left to go in this one. And it must have been a penalty after the fact against Nimitz.
Another personal foul.
Yep, to rub salt in the proverbial wounds. Mack will kick off at the 45 of Nimitz. Now this is where kind of a pooch kick kind of works out. And here's something you probably didn't see when you were coaching, the baby powder effect.
No. If it happened up in the stands, I didn't pay much attention to it, Rob.
If you didn't see some smoke screen in the stands, you didn't like hesitate just once and go, wonder what that is, and then go back to coaching? No?
No, you got your plate pretty full right down there on the sideline.
You're too busy yelling at kids, aren't you?
Well, yeah, you're trying to manage.
And, and I say that affectionately.
No, I know. I understand. I understand completely. Yeah.
Oh, the baby powder. Did LeBron start all that, or Jordan start all that?
I think LeBron did, didn't he?
Now they brought it to the football field.
There it is.
Here goes Nelms again. Nelms going to run out of real estate, but not until he gets a first down. About a 35-yard gain.
He's a good back. Watch the way he picks. He kind of slow, he's very patient. He picks his way through, and then he turns on the speed. We get a replay now.
You think we had one high school and it was Nelms and Sanders in the backfield?
There it is. He's got good eyes. Along with all the other ability that you have to have for a running back, right? He sees things well.
You have to take a good angle on him. If you take
yes,
a bad,
you do. Here's a throwback.
And Burris is right there. Burris with the pick. This could be a pick six unless Nelms gets him from behind. And he does at the 27. Penalty flags galore after the fact. Probably a personal foul. Burris just fell back. He's a defensive end, folks, not a linebacker. He read the screen and he throws the football in the crowd, just like the pros.
That's a penalty.
Yes.
I told you.
Coach Mullins. I'm looking at him now. Look, he's looking at the linesman. He's looking at the umpire. He's like, what was that for? We've got flags everywhere. The last 32 seconds have taken about 3 minutes. Well, it's according to who. All right, so if the official throws his hat, that's like his second penalty flag, right?
Yes.
So,
At that point on the field, normally they throw their hat, on the sideline.
Right.
But yeah, at that point right there, it's got to be another.
Yeah, back at the 45, the back judge
threw 2.
He threw 2.
Yep.
He's giving out warnings and tickets tonight, folks.
And then this one right here was a dead ball.
Yeah, we know
dead ball penalty.
We know what that one is. That's if MacArthur keeps possession, which I believe they will.
Yeah.
It's just going to back them back 15. So now they have to sort out the dead ball, the one during. Let's see if they get it right.
There are 3 fouls on the previous play, 2 against Nimitz, 1 against MacArthur.
3 penalties, as we expected.
We have a live ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on number 5 of Nimitz. Also a personal foul on number 5 against Nimitz. Then after the play, a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench of MacArthur. The ball will be placed at the 26-yard line as the fouls are enforced in the order of occurrence. 1st and 10, MacArthur.
2 against Mac and 1 against.
All right, so if there are 2 penalties against Mac and 1 against Nimitz, 2 could offset. But it looks like they're just putting the ball where he ran out of bounds. So they didn't give him a dead ball 15-yard penalty, did they?
No, they didn't.
It should be at least 15 yards back from that spot, right?
I would think so, yeah. I would think the dead ball. I mean, these down here, well, let's see. What they're saying is it offsets. Everything offsets, 1st down, spot, go.
Fredeloso going deep. Overthrows his target. The officials, they gave us the rundown in order as it had happened. And they said they were enforced accordingly. So if there's 2 offset, that's 0. And then 1 more at the end should have been 15 yards back unless he went out of bounds around the 10 or so. 2nd down, 10 here. MacArthur on the move. Sanders up the middle. Sanders, touchdown. 27 yards up the pipe.
That should put him well over 200 yards this year.
A play that is so simple, Coach. It's
It
been
is
so
very-
devastating tonight.
It has been very well designed play, and again, anytime those backs have success like that, the line has to be attributed to the offensive line, and they have done a yeoman's job tonight. Here it is right here. Don't get to see the offensive line too much, but you can see a body on a body and smooth sailing for the running back. I believe you and I could run through that, right?
Now they'd have catch me.
Maybe not.
I'd run out of gas. I would be like Homer Simpson.
They're doing a good job of bringing the guard up through the leading the play up through. The tackle leading up through the hole. Very similar to what a fullback or a lead back would do from the backfield. Well designed, boy.
Watching, I believe it was Lopez down there talking to Sanders about some of their blocking schemes. Coming in tonight, the points were kind of a little bit different as we got 7 seconds left to go. When we come back, we'll do this kick and then we'll take a break. We'll come back, we'll kind of look at how these teams were averaging before the series tonight. And here's the kick, and Sands picks it up after dropping it. Now he's got a corner and a wedge if he can get around that corner. Breaks a couple, gets to the 32, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. So we finished 3, headed for 4. MacArthur 47, Nimitz 18. Back with more in a moment. So we're down to a quarter of football. And it's going to be tough for these Vikings to make a comeback as Nelms is wrapped up and the whistle blows on the first down and 10. Well, Coach, coming in, Nimitz was averaging 33 points a game and allowing 27. Look at the yards they were piling up as well, and Mac was, they're both kind of 500 in what they score and what they give up, and,
right.
it kind of indicates, the record that they have coming in. Mac not quite as offensive powerhouse coming in to tonight's game, but boy, they just unleashed the terror tonight. Second down goes for about 7. Looking at the series, MacArthur has scored 50 points twice since 1990. They scored 52 in 2011, and they scored 50 in 2008. That 2008 game, it was 3 overtimes, so that's how they got their 50. And that was their biggest win, 52-13. Nimitz, by the way, they won back in 95, 56-9, so they had put 50 points on the board as well on this third down play. That's going to be tough. Ponce might have got it across. Here's the series again. It's Mac, the all-time leader, 30-17-1, and you can see been some high-scoring games for the victors. 52 for Mac in 2011 and 50 back in 2008. First down and 10. Ponce running for his life. Somehow evades everyone and will get the first down. That's all on Aiden right there, folks. Came in really more of a passer. He was hitting 65% of his passes and a couple of touchdowns. But since district started, he's been forced to really have to run more. Teams are keying on Christian Nelms, and
I think that's the key right there is they are keying on Nelms because obviously he's a great running back. But it's good that they have somebody that can take up the slack for that.
Ponce pumps once, twice, and just throws that up in midair to get picked off. And coming this way and still moving the football is Peoples. Peoples hit pretty hard on the sideline by Ponce and company. Ponce just didn't have enough on it, Coach.
No, he didn't. That's a cardinal sin right there that you try to
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah, that's that you really work hard and try to coach against is do not throw the ball late over the middle. You can throw it late outside. You can throw it late, down the field, but don't throw it late over the middle because it gives the backside people pursuit to get across and make plays like that.
Al Harden is now in quarterback, and they give to Demetrius Charles, Chairs as the running back. So we might have seen the last of Mr. Sanders. Get an update on Sanders. What was your guess on Sanders' yardage, Coach?
I said he went over 200.
He did, 233.
233.
And 5 touchdowns. What a night.
Good night's work.
Yes, it is.
Good night's work.
Harden to Chairs.
Very good
Chairs
tackle.
Tackled instantly. Well done by Mac Evans, number 4.
Very good tackle by Evans.
Not even lost a play or two. Look at the Nimitz stats. Nelms 124, Ponce 129. So they've definitely been a 1-2 punch for the Vikings. They just did not have an answer whatsoever as Morris goes, Jalen Hall goes left. And we've got up. We've got some fist throwing and flags throwing, and I think part of that was frustration maybe on Evans's part, but I think there might be a few guys tossed in this one, Coach.
Should be. You know, you don't want things like that to happen. It's
There are numerous flags on the play.
it's a good rivalry between both these teams, and usually it's a good, close, hard-fought game, and you want it to be that way. You don't want, you know, things like this to happen and to get ugly, and you know, just you want the kids to play hard and you want them to play clean.
Well, I think the safety to Don Evans, he's already got his helmet off and shoulder pads off. I think he's heading to the locker room, but it all happens after the fact.
It's after when the ball's out of bounds. You can see punches thrown. You know, you continue to watch here and a little extra.
And get people pushing, and now this is a coaching moment for Mullins. He's letting his kids hear it right now.
Well, you know, Coach Mullins.
There are 4 unsportsmanlike fouls against Nimitz on the previous play. Number 4, 17, and 7.
I would guess that that's what he's
3.
talking to him right now. Hey, you
Number
guys
3
have
has
played
2
hard, you
unsportsmanlike
deserve what you got
penalties.
tonight.
He is disqualified from the game. There will be one 15-yard penalty assessed from the dead ball spot. First and 10, MacArthur.
Keep your mouth shut.
So 4 personal fouls. I believe Collins, number 7, might be his second personal, so he may be out of there. I know that Coach Rogers has a bunch of other guys on the depth chart, second on the depth chart, that he has out playing corner right now. And they throw over to Reyes. Reyes had that long, big touchdown run, catch and run. And another penalty flag, this one away from the field. And looks like Angel Hernandez is being pointed off to the sideline, and Brian Vance, the referee, is going to have his hands full for the rest of this game.
I believe you're right. Yeah, it's going to take the coaches to get the game back under control. Officials can't do it, and that's no disrespect
Personal foul,
for officials.
hands
But
to the
all they
face.
do is call
Number
penalties,
31 of the defense.
enforce the rules.
After the
The
penalty is
coaches have
over,
got to be the ones that calm the
Unsportsmanlike
players down.
conduct on number 53 of the offense. Those fouls will be enforced in the order of occurrence. First down.
All right, Biera, unsportsmanlike, and then hands to the face. That was Hernandez. So the clock will start to roll. Well, it's not rolling. And a handoff to Jalen Hall. I would suspect, Coach, at this point, you just do a lot of dive right and dive left.
That's what should be done. I say that's what should be done. You want the clock to run. You don't want to do anything to stop the clock. Just keep it going. Try to make positive yards on plays, and hold on to the football. Make sure you hold on to the football.
Jalen Hall is a senior. Breaks a couple of tackles and gets close to the 20. You know, you have a lot of players that they don't get the playing time. They get an opportunity to get out there and play. You know, you got to practice like the big boys every day.
That's right.
You get your chance, and you don't want to go half speed. And now Coach Rogers is going to call time, and I think this might be a point to where you were talking about the coaches having to take control of the game here a little bit.
And both coaches are outstanding individuals, and they'll do what needs to be done to get it under control.
Right in the middle of that is Coach Rogers, offensive coordinator at Mac back in 2012. Take a look at the Dallas Morning News rankings, top 20 in the Metroplex. No surprise, Allen, they just stay camped there. But boy, what a job that they've done over at Duncanville, huh?
That's unbelievable. That guy is a real football coach. Now, they have players over there. Don't misunderstand. They do have some good players, but that guy has done a good job of rallying those guys and maintaining a good program.
Coach Samples that came over from Skyline.
And, before that, he was at Lincoln and had won at Lincoln. That's a great tackle right there. See kids playing hard. That's good. I like to see kids keep playing hard regardless of score.
It's Arenas that ran the little jet sweep, as they like to call it. And it looks like they're going to bring out Yavaniro to try about a 42-yarder. He's hit one from about the same range back in the first quarter, first half. So this isn't out of his range. The wind hasn't picked up, and there's really no wind whatsoever. So just got to get a holder. Fedoloso, the starting quarterback, is the holder, so it's out to 32, a 42-yard kick. Good snap and hold. If it's long enough, it's going to count, and he gets it in there.
Good.
Got him a good little field goal kicker.
They do. He's got a good leg. I mean, as far as being able to drive the ball, and he's got good distance. Good distance.
Let's go back to that Dallas Morning News top 20. We kind of hit upon Allen and Duncanville a little bit. Now Samples he's got those guys resurrected. South Lake Carroll, first year with their new head coach. Lake Ridge at number 4, they moved up. And Cinderella story, number 8, Haltom, the Buffaloes. Everybody's talking about their season. This would be like the Gophers having a 6-0 run. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I can remember you and I did a game when Haltom played. I believe it was Nimitz, like the second game of the season, second or third game of the season. And you were talking about how that I can't remember the coach's name right now, but he's really done a good job, and how he was, taking his lumps and trying to build the program the right way, which apparently he has done. And it's good to see that. The guy hung in there and just kept working hard and got the kids believing. That's what you need.
Yeah, I think every coach tries to do that, but to get the kids to buy in, and then every coach, they present company except think they're special and think they're the ones that
It's like that you can do it.
Yeah,
I can win at that school.
Sure.
I can win at that school.
But you've got to have a little talent to mold.
Yes,
you
do.
You can't just take any group of kids and turn them into winners. Nimitz will have it at 32. Anytime a play is at the sideline, everybody holds their breath.
Exactly.
Like,
I was just thinking the same thing. I was thinking, oh no. And especially when it's around the bench area. That's even worse because there's more people.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. That's how things got out of control last time. It's at the bench. They're behind the coaches. I mean, the coaches can't be everywhere. The head coach is already thinking about the next play, and if it's behind him like that, then that's going to happen. Ponce keeps. Not a lot of real estate.
Mac has done a good job defensively on of course, they've done a good job defensively total, but they've done a good job on Nelms, obviously, from the start. And then Ponce hurt him. He had 96 yards at halftime, and then he went over 100 pretty quick in the third quarter. But Mac's made some adjustments and even started controlling him a little bit.
And Bastillo, Anthony Bastillo, who has thrown a few passes so far this year, comes in. Gould is the running back, number 22. And they go wide left for about a yard. And I think Coach Rogers is kind of on the same page as Coach Mullins and company, and that's just run the football.
Yeah, run the football, run the clock.
And it's pretty much, Well, it is out of hand at this point.
Well, also especially Mac, because they're still going to be in the hunt for playoff hunt, maybe even the district title hunt. But also Nimitz, you don't want to get anybody hurt at this point. Also, you want to be able to keep everybody healthy and so they can play next week.
Well, yeah, because MacArthur has the toughest 3 teams left in district to play.
Yes,
so
they do. They've got a tough road to hoe.
The toughest battle is in front of them. So they've got to be everybody together. They've got Hebron, Marcus, and Flower Mound.
And they got to go to Hebron.
And they can beat Marcus. I feel pretty good about that. I haven't seen Hebron play.
Hebron's very athletic there. I mean, tell you, MacArthur's really athletic. They got kids that can run. They're good up front. I've really been impressed with their offensive line tonight, as I've said several times.
They have big guys.
They've
got some D1 dudes out there that can go to the next level based on their size.
A reminder, following tonight's game, no one is allowed on the field unless
that'll be a first down.
Again, we remind you, no one will be allowed on the
A lot of people predicting Hebron and Flower Mound to battle it out for the district title before the season started. Hebron has lost 1 game already in district. Bastillo keeps right up the pipe. The Dallas Morning News, before the season started, had Coppell as their pick. A lot of times it's just based on what they did the year before.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And I'll tell you, another team that's done a good job this year is Louisville.
They've surprised me.
Yes, they've done a good job. Their coach, this is his 2nd year. He's an OX fighting former quarterback. Came home to coach, and he's doing a good job over there.
2-1, 4-2 overall coming into tonight's battle. A lot of people thought Louisville was going to be the Grand Prairie of this district. That is stolen away by number 13, which is Alex Chavez, a sophomore linebacker. He just took it out of the hands of Bastillo.
Ripped it right out of his hands.
Yep.
Yes, he did. Good play for that young man. Sophomore, getting to play, made a big play, and that's neat. Here it is, and they're picking up good yardage. You can see right there, he just rips it, literally rips it out of his hand.
Yeah, that was Luis Gould, number 22, that had it stolen away, and the officials are wanting to get this one in the books, saying roll that clock. Even after the change of possession, the referee was telling Wally to roll the clock. And that, my friends, will be the last play of the 2018 showdown between Nimitz High School and Irving MacArthur. MacArthur wins their 5th straight against Nimitz, now leading this series 31-17-1. But probably more important to the coaching staff and these kids right now is they've won 2 in a row. They're now 2-2 in district. And they're playing, like you said before, they are playing pretty good football as they head into their showdown with the toughest part of their schedule to go. Final thoughts, Coach?
Well, I think that the running game was a difference for MacArthur tonight, obviously. They did a good job with the run game. And, it was they controlled the ball. They controlled both lines of scrimmage from the start of the game until the end of the game.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have highlights and the final stats and the final word. Stay with us. Well, a hazy Friday night in Irving, Texas, and It wasn't hazy offensively for MacArthur because these guys just unleash a potent running attack, and it was led by Gabriel Sanders. This is Sanders here to make it 34-18, and these guys were well on their way of running up the scoreboard. Fred Aloso had a pretty good night throwing the football, connected when he had to. This is Reyes. Reyes goes 51 yards for the touchdown, and the senior enjoying that mark right there. And then one more time, it's Sanders, 31 yards for the score, 5 touchdowns, 233 yards for the senior running back. He may be 5'9" and 175, but he packs a wallop. Here are the final stats. First downs, pretty even. You look at the total yards, pretty even, but the one glaring stat that stands out to me is the fact that the Vikings turned it over 5 times in this ball game. Committed the penalties, yes, but they just turned it over, and they just couldn't stop MacArthur. And so with that, MacArthur wins their 5th straight in a row over Nimitz, lead the series 31-17-1. For Coach Vizentine, I'm Rob Willman. We appreciate you guys watching and tuning in to the ICTN Game of the Week. We will see you next time on ICTN.